Good evening, wonderful humans. So this is my second time of recording because my daughter came in, as usual when I'm on calls and stuff, and the dog came in, so I wasn't able to concentrate. But hey, that's life. We live it imperfectly. So round two. So the question for day 7, and we're at a week now of lives, is how to be more effective and not more busy. So this is a lovely question from the beautiful Karen Ramirez, and I wanted, it's really important, and I wanted to share that with you. So I've got 5 tips to help you with this, and it's not, I can't give you a total overhaul, but these 5 steps are really going to help you to get rid of that busy feeling. Because the thing is when we're feeling busy, it's ordinarily because we're not clear and we're not experiencing peace. So the very first tip number 1, is to ask yourself every day, how can I make this easy for myself? What is number 1 priority for me today? And that all comes from a little bit of focus, which is point 2. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But also, it becomes from making yourself a priority, making downtime just as important as work time, making sure you rest and recharge, making sure you're being kind to yourself and not beating yourself up for not having done 1,000 things today. So, a really good tip for self-care I give to my clients is I get them to do a list, right? So make a list of all your to-dos, because that's generally why we feel we're busy, right? And this is part of the self-care tip 1. So get yourself a pad out and write down every single thing you have to do, everything that's in your brain you feel you have to do, and exhaust yourself. Then think of 5 more, right? And then what I want you to do is pick 3 of those that are priority. Right, just highlight them in a green pen or something fancy like that. Right. Then what you do is you take the first thing that's most important, stick it on a post-it note on your screen, and you work on that one thing. And do not do anything else until you've done that one thing. Right. And put that list in a bloody drawer. Right. And just have that one thing at a time and on repeat. And only once you've done that one thing can you move on to thing number 2, right? And what that does is just getting all of that information out of your head helps you to start from a peaceful place, helps you to start where you're feeling you have clarity, right? And because when we're feeling busy, we're going to feel stressed, then we're going to feel overwhelmed, then we're going to procrastinate, and then we're not going to do anything. So busy is the path to feeling stuck, right? So we have to catch that in a moment. Whenever we're feeling busy, just get it all out. We activate something in our bodies when we put pen to paper, not on Monday, not on your computer, pen, paper, because there's something physical in our bodies that is helpful when we get it out, pen and paper, right? So do that and then pick one thing. So self-care is really important, and having your downtime. Number 2 is focus. And I talked a little bit about this in my day 4 video, so you can find that on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Go and have a look for my video for day 4. It's quite simple to find. Just have a look at that. And in there, I give you a tip for mapping out things for the next 90 days. And there's actually a document that you can use to do just that. And that's really important, is if you have one focus, i.e. one thing to sell, one call to action to your audience for a whole 3 months, then that's going to give you that clarity and peace where you're not trying to sell everything at the same time, right? And that's your shop window thing that you promote often. And I won't say too much about that because I've done a whole video about that. So if you go and look at day 4, it will show you how you can have focus over the next 90 days. And then all the other things that you plan to sell or do or whatever can take the back burner until they're ready to come out in the following 90 days, for example, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is have a really simple strategy, right? So keep it as simple as possible. Like I said, how can I make this easy? What's the most important thing to do today? And go from there. And just one foot in front of the other, step by step, rather than, being all things to everyone, getting all things done. Because the simpler the business is, the more effective it can be. Not busy. See, I didn't say busy, I said effective. So the more effective it can be in terms of, if it's simple for me to understand as a prospect, I'm more likely to do it. If you use simple, plain language and not try and be fancy with everything, or try and, um, prove yourself, and I'll do a little bit of that tomorrow. But if you just own that you're good at what you do, and should someone choose to implement what you teach, then they'll get the result that they want. That is prizing, not proving. So come from that place of keeping it really simple. Excuse me. Number 4 is offer often. So a lot of the time people say to me, well, I'll put my offer out once and no one bought it. It takes way more than that. So like, make your offer every day, right? If you really want to ramp it up, do 4 posts a day. And one of those posts should be an offer to what you're offering in that 90 days, right? So then we've got number 5, which is really important, and it's something that I've been talking a lot about to clients over the last month or so, is that so often we get caught up in the proving thing, where we're trying to explain what we do or why we do it or why we're good at what we do and what everything entails. However, the truth is that no one cares about that. Oftentimes your client have a pain that they want to get out of, and they have a solution that they want to get to. So that's what they care about. And it's not about teaching or proving or showing or even educating. What your content, and by content I mean everything, I mean on calls, on emails, your actual social media content, when you're talking to people physically, you might be doing a presentation, whatever it is, it's about connecting. It's not really about teaching, right? So it's showing people that you really see, hear, and understand them. And that's really getting into the feeling like, before you start work, just take 5 minutes and imagine what your ideal client that you really want to work with, what were they laying in bed last night thinking about? What are they thinking now? How are they feeling now? And then talk to them from that place. So you only ever, like me today, I'm only ever talking to one person, right? One, not everyone, not 100 people, not 1,000 people, one person, right? One person that really needs to hear this today. And I focus on them. And before I start anything, I have that person in mind. And I speak to them directly, just like I am to you today. So that's really important. And if you focus on that one person and you take that approach with everything you do, then you build connection. And when you build connection and you are showing that you see, hear, and understand a person, then that's the effectiveness you need, because they're going to feel seen, heard, and understood, are interested and want to know more. And they will have more touch points with you, right? So I'll just recap those for you. So the first one is self-care. So make sure you're really taking care of yourself and thinking about, how can this be easier for me today? What's one thing that I can do today that will really move the needle to where I want to go? Not 15 things, not 50 things, not all of my to-do list, because that's going to lead, like I said to you, to procrastination and burnout eventually, right? So one thing, 3 things max a day, that's your target to complete, right? Number 2 is focus. So go back and watch day 4 video, and I'll give you a whole strategy for how to map out your next 90 days, right? Number 3 is keep it simple. Have a really simple strategy for how you do that and what you're talking about for the next 90 days, whatever medium you're doing that by. Number 4 is offer often. So offer, if you're selling something, especially, you want to be putting the link to buy that thing or take the action you want them to take every day, right? And up your posts. Not 1 post, probably 4 posts, right, a day, if not more. Number 5, and lastly, is build connection. You don't always have to teach or educate or prove yourself or explain yourself over and over. It's about connecting with your audience to show that you see, hear, and understand them. And if you do those 5 things and you keep it really simple, because remember that the best businesses, the most successful businesses, are simple, easy to understand, connected businesses that really resonate with people. So if you do those 5 things, you're going to feel, give it a couple of weeks, try it out, prove me wrong, all right. And if this resonates with you, then why not try it? And then that will help you from going from feeling busy to feeling not just effective, but like you're living on purpose. And the thing is we can be busy with anything, right? But if what we do is not setting our soul on fire, we're not going to want to do it anyway, and we're going to get resentful, right? So it's about doing what lights you up, doing what makes your heart sing, speaking to the people that you really want to have in your life. And that breeds simplicity and effectiveness and eliminates the word busy from your vocabulary. So I hope that helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any further questions for the next few days, pop them in below and I'll do my best to answer on the next video. Have a lovely evening.